I think, part of it for me too is having come from that background. I did it all on my own. I didn't really have anybody to help me. I'm grateful for. It made me stronger as a person.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's so many people, and I was like this for a long period of time, but there's so many people that will look at successful people like myself, and they think, oh, I'll never make it there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't share my story, and if I don't help them or talk to them or guide them in some sort of way and let them know, like, hey, I was in the same boat you were, probably with less.
Yeah.
You can do this.
Yeah, let's do this. I know you have a tremendous self-motivation, motivated story, and you share a little bit with us, but can you share us the journey of going from rag to riches? Welcome to Dani with the Scoot podcast, where we talk about the elephant in the roofing industry. Today we have Todd from Perimeter Roofing, Todd Price. He's been in the business, I believe, for almost 10 years, if I'm not mistaken, and he's rocking it on the southeast of Atlanta. So we're going to start with the first question that I have for Todd. And according to his website, Todd's number one mission is to change people's lives. Tell us the reason behind this big mission, and how is Todd making this happen?
The biggest reason that, I want to change people's lives is just because a lot of me and my partners, we all have a rough background. Mm-hmm. So came from nothing, was homeless for a long period of time. I was an addict, alcoholic, and in and out of jail. And so real rough past. And so, I turned my life around. I overcame a lot of things, and it completely changed my mindset. And a lot of it took some discipline, which I have through bodybuilding.
Okay.
But just the mindset, the discipline, and the more and more that I grow, I know that there's more and more that I can accomplish. So, like, I always tell people, like, I'm always content, but I'm never satisfied. I'm always happy, but I'm never satisfied. I always want more, no matter what that is. And it's just not just materialistic things. It's, relationship with my wife, my family, and more for others as well. So when I say I want more for others and to change people's lives, I mean that not just in my company, which we've done wholeheartedly. We've changed, an entire amount of people's lives that have come in that were making minimum wage, or same thing, we're recovering addicts, have a bad record, have a bad past, and nobody would give them a chance or an opportunity or an outlet. And they're some of the nicest, hardest working people, and determined because they put that addiction into something else.
Okay.
And now they're making multiple six figures, killing it, and they've changed their life. And I see them getting houses and getting trucks that they like, and being able to go on vacation and spoil their kids. And it's really, really cool to see those kind of things, because I know how it was for me when I did. And then the other aspect is just, people that don't work for the company, but people in need, whether it's somebody that needs a new roof. We do a lot of donations as far as free roofs, but then we also we do have a nonprofit to where we give back, and we pay off school lunches and school lunch debt, which, believe it or not, it's in a lot of areas that you wouldn't even expect it. But there's a lot of kids that can't afford to eat lunch at school. Yeah. And so we'll pay off their school lunch debt, or we teamed up with another program called Sleep in Heavenly Peace, where we actually build beds for kids that are sleeping on the ground at their house, or they're on top of just a blanket or on the floor, whatever. And so we'll build these. One day a month we'll have a build day where we'll build these bunk beds, and then another day a month we'll have a delivery day where we actually take them out and deliver them to the home with new mattresses, and we find out if they like dinosaurs or whatever it may be. And we put dinosaur pillowcase and dinosaur sheets. So to see the kids' faces come in, and it's really exciting to see. So anything that we can do to kind of give back to the community and help others that are less fortunate, that's a big driving factor for us.
That's kind of will be how you're changing people's life, by giving back to the community, right? Mm-hmm. It's all the time. That's your number one.
Always back to the community in multiple different avenues, however we can, however we see fit. And it's not just those two ways. We find ways all the time that where we can sponsor somebody's softball team because they didn't have, the parents didn't have money to buy the equipment needed for the team, or whatever it can be. But the guys on our team, and then especially giving back to the community just to help better people's lives. That's what it's all about. So.
Oh man, I'm so glad that somebody is thinking about changing people's life, and you have a mission like that. It's so powerful, and that's why I have my question, like, how are you doing it? Because it's powerful, and I mean, you have to help yourself first to be able to help others, and you coming from that background, it's it's just amazing.
And I think part of it for me too is having come from that background. I did it all on my own. I didn't really have anybody to help me. I'm grateful for. It made me stronger as a person.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's so many people, and I was like this for a long period of time, but there's so many people that will look at successful people like myself, and they think, oh, I'll never make it there. So if I don't share my story, and if I don't help them or talk to them or guide them in some sort of way and let them know, like, hey, I was in the same boat you were, probably with less. You can do this. You just got to focus and put in the time and effort, and you'll get there. And it's been incredible to see some of the people come on that have really put their head to the grindstone and focused and have turned their life around.
Yes, that's going to be another of my questions, talking about Perimeter Cares. But I want to ask you this. I know you have a tremendous motivated story, and you share a little bit with us, but can you share us the journey of going from rag to riches?
Yeah, it was, it's been a long one for sure. So I was an addict for a long time.
Okay.
And there's a lot of it that I don't remember even, but, finally, I decided I'd hit rock bottom, and I remember going back to my mom and just breaking down crying and saying, like, can I please come back home? And, like, it wasn't that they ever kicked me out. Like, I had the best parents in the world. I just chose to be, a piece of crap. Like,
I have chills right now.
So, like, and I love them to death. And, like, now, even to this day, like, I try to buy them everything that I can, because now being a parent, I look back and I'm like, man, like, I can imagine how scared my mom was that I was going to die or do this or do that.
Yes.
But so I was an addict for a long time. I went through a lot of rough stuff my last year, and I hit rock bottom. Went back to my mom, crying, told her if I can come back home, I'll never drink again. And that was November 1st was 12 years. So it's been over 12 years sober now.
Wow.
And
congratulations.
Thank you. So since then, I've just focused, and my heart and soul, my passion till this day is the gym industry. So I went back to the gym industry, and that's what I knew, and worked my way up in that. And luckily, I had the opportunity to work with one of the owners at one gym that I was at. He had about 15 locations that I'd worked my way up to become the regional manager at. And so I knew all the training side, knew the fitness side of things, and knew sales. But I got to learn a lot of business by working hand in hand with him, which is what he knew. He didn't know the gym industry. He knew business. And so it was really, really beneficial for me. And the more that I did, the more I started believing in myself.
Yes.
And that I was confident, if I can do this, why can't I do this? And why can't I do this? And, so that helped me a lot with my self-confidence, I would say, and in the way that I think of just there are no limits on anything that you want to do in life. But then I had a buddy that was actually in the roofing industry, and he had been doing sales for a while, and was telling me that this is something that you need to get into. You'd be really, really good at it. You have a great business mindset. You're phenomenal at sales. And I didn't understand it, and it seemed kind of too good to be true.
Yes, and, me too. Yeah, everybody, I think.
So I probably put it off for like 2 years. And finally, like, he kept trying, and finally started sending me pictures of his paychecks.
Oh,
and I was like, all right,
like, let me see.
Let's see what we can do here. So I went home, and I talked to my wife. I can't remember if we were married then. We just got married. And told her kind of what I wanted to do. And I wanted to make the jump and try something different. And I knew construction. My dad had built houses for 47 years. And so made the jump, quit cold turkey in the gym industry, went straight into roofing, opened up a company. And she was working, making maybe $400 a week.
Oh, wow.
And, we didn't have nothing. So we had a little small TV in the living room with no furniture. We'd sit on the ground. We had to figure out what we were going to eat and ramen noodles and what bills we were going to skip each month. And so it was rough, but she held it down for me while we got started. And it took a good 8 months, 9 months before I even saw any money.
Yes.
Much less enough to pay the bills.
Yes.
So finally, when I got to the point where I was making decent money to at least cover the bills, I told her, you quit what you're doing. Let's focus on having a family and growing our family, and you'll never have to work again. And so now we got 3 kids. She stays at home with them, and it's
That was from rag to riches. And I mean, I'm saying riches because you got a Rolls Royce now, right?
I
you own one, right?
So I'm trying to work my way up. I got to get, I want to get 3. They got 3 different ones I want.
Please
so
tell me your secret, man, because we all want that. But that's why you're here, to tell us, what's your secret of success. And I want to thank you again, because out of all the roofing celebrities that I call, and I put the name out there because it's just a trend that I'm making, you were the most humble one. You literally took the time, tell me, yes, I will be there. You don't even know who I was. You just barely met me, and you are a person with a big heart. I can tell because of the way you answer me right away. I am thankful for the opportunity of you being here, and I just want to let everybody know that you are open to help others.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
My third question here says, on your website, officialtoddprice.com, it shows that you are coaching and consulting. What advice do you give roofing business owners that deal with their sales reps opening their own companies? And some of them copy the same exact contract. Like, there's no upside. You know what I'm talking about. How do you deal with that? Like, do you...
We've gone through it so many
exactly. That's why I'm asking you.
I've lost so many, who I considered good friends or best friends over the years.
Yes.
And here's my thing. And if people want to copy, people are going to copy celebrities, other people in the industry, whoever it may be. People are going to copy. That's just what people do. And as long as you're copying, you're always going to be behind. So I have no problem with people copying.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to open up a business, I went and opened up my own company.
Yeah.
So I wish the best for everybody. I don't hold anybody back. I was just in the hallway with a gentleman that I had met a while back, and he was asking my advice he just started his company, just got his bank account yesterday, and where to start and what things he should focus on and how his business card looked, things of that nature. So I'm all about helping people. When you come from my company and you want to go out and start one, the biggest thing that I tell everybody, whether it's somebody coming to my company from another company or whether it's somebody from my company going to another company or going to, start their own, is be honest.
Yes.
Like, always be honest. And I understand that there are a lot of shady and kind of greedy people in the industry. And the industry can have a bad rap. 100% agree. But be honest. I had a guy that came to me, and he wanted to open up his own company, and I went with him to the supply house. I helped him with the LLC. I helped him get his account at the supply house. I helped him, and he ended up buying a house. This is before I moved, but when I lived in a subdivision, he ended up buying a house 6 houses down from me.
Oh, wow.
And, I helped him start his company, showed him how to do orders, showed him how to do everything, and he did really, really well for a while. And then I think he just kind of got in over his head a little bit, which a lot of people with business do, and he ended up initially coming back eventually, just because I was so open with him and he was so open with me. I had no problem with it. The only issue I have is when people try to go behind business owners' backs and steal jobs that they presented themselves as one company, and they try to steal it and do it as another company to be that little kick out that they need to start their company. And it's just, start from ground zero, just like everybody else did, and do your research, do your homework, and put in the effort to actually build your business, and be honest. And the more honest you are with people, there's so many people that are willing to help in this industry. And, I have people come to my office that I'll help. My business partner, Raymond Little, he mentors a lot of other companies. I mentor a lot of other, and not just here, like in different states, in Texas and South Carolina and Florida here. all over the place.
Oh,
Like,
so you consult other companies as well?
yeah, we have people reach out to us all the time.
Oh,
on how to
wow.
do this, and we just, I feel like the more people work together, the better the industry is going to be.
Yes, I agree.
It's and that's how you're going to get insurance prices. That's how you're going to get pricing to go up.
Yes.
It's when you have so many people cutting corners and doing
Yeah.
this that the industry gets a bad rap.
Mm-hmm.
People are running off with insurance checks, committing fraud.
Yeah.
Because they just want to make a quick buck. It's a greed thing, and they want fast money. And
That's not the way to do it. That is not the way to do
it. If it comes fast,
it.
it goes fast.
Yes.
So.
No, I agree 100% with you. So be honest. So people already, if you're hearing this podcast, go to officialtoddprice.com.
Yep.
Price.com and just click on consulting coaching services. He wants to help and change people's lives. So he's open. Don't feel that this big guy is not going to be open to share his knowledge. My fourth question is, Perimeter Roofing has a nonprofit called Perimeter Cares. I believe that every single business should impact and help a nonprofit. What is your advice on those businesses that don't believe in giving back to the community? And for the businesses that wants to help and doesn't know where to start, what advice would you give them?
So I think businesses that aren't giving back to the community, and like I said, there's a huge variety of ways to do that, whether it's with your time, whether it's with money, whatever it may be.
Yep.
But if you're not giving back to your community, you're missing out on a large number of relationships and referrals.
Okay.
And like I said, whether it's time or whether it's money that you're helping people with, not only is it a good thing to do and give you good karma, which I believe in.
Yes, I do.
I've got a lot of bad karma, so I try to make up for it as much as possible now. So not only is it good karma, but it's also, from a business standpoint, some of the best publicity you can get.
Yes.
I've done so much advertising in so many different ways. I would so much rather help as many people as possible and have them talk about me versus spend that same money and put a billboard up.
Yes.
It doesn't give me any business.
It doesn't get you.
And doesn't help anybody except
Wow.
whoever owns that billboard. So I'd rather help people and have them talk. And the word of mouth from it has been huge. And I mean, we spent a lot of money doing it. In 2 years, we dropped over $100,000 just on schools.
Yeah, I saw that on your website.
But it was well worth the investment. And then even more than that, seeing the look on these kids' faces, and the teachers and the principals and the lunch ladies, they break down crying because they're the ones that got to deal with it.
I have the chills again, guys. So what he's telling us is true. I literally have the chills, and he is a motivation story that everyone should go into and look into, and everyone should do good to the community. So what about if, I want to, but I don't know where to start?
My biggest thing would be find something that, you're passionate with or that you could really connect with, because I think it's going to mean a lot more to you from a value standpoint.
Why did you choose kids, helping with lunch boxes?
So I love kids in general.
Okay.
And I feel like kids and animals, anything for them, I love them. I try to help as much as possible.
Yeah.
And they're just so innocent. They're so pure.
Yes.
And, I didn't know anything about school lunch. This is before I even had children when we started this.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how the school lunches worked. I didn't know that they could actually go into debt. I didn't know any of this. And so we were trying to figure out, up until this point, we had done something every single month to kind of give back.
Okay.
Whether it was a donation, whether it was a raffle, hey, anybody that does this, we're going to give away this, we're going to do this. But one of the competitions that we decided to come up with was that anybody that had done a good deed and posted it, you didn't have to post what you did. You just had to comment and say, good deed done.
Okay.
We would enter you for a raffle, and then whoever we drew, we would donate $5,000 to the charity of their choice.
Okay,
So that's what
wow.
we're doing 1 month as a raffle. So, and the charity of Ray's choice, who's one of my business partners, was to pay off school lunch debt. And so when he said it, I said,
what do you mean?
I didn't know any better, and I'm like, well, don't they does taxes cover that?
Yeah,
How does it work?
How does it work? Yeah.
But so in Georgia, and it's kind of different from state to state, but in Georgia, they can go a full week into debt, which I think comes out to $11.25, maybe $11.50 that they can go into debt. Once they hit that point, they'll go through the line. They'll get a hot lunch. They get up there. They're over their limit. The lunch lady will have to take that tray from them, throw it away, and get them a cold sandwich and a glass of water. And so, two things. One, it's not fair that they're not getting a hot lunch.
No.
We've heard all sorts of stories that some parents just don't care. Some parents can't afford it. You have some, especially on the Spanish side, parents that are scared to fill out like the free and reduced lunch because they think they might get in some sort of trouble or deported. So I understand all those issues, but at the end of the day, it's not the kid's fault. And that's where I was like, we have to do something. I love that. Let's figure out something to do. And then on the other side of that, you're literally taking lunch away from a kid and giving them a brown bag, which immediately points them out that they don't have money. So every other kid is now, that person's become a target for bullying, which is something that we're trying to stop in this day and age. And that obviously I don't agree with. So it was important to me that we did something. And when Ray said that, we put together a nonprofit, a 501c3, and took off with it and started paying 2 or 3 schools off every single week. And been going ever since. We took a break during COVID because that was the one good thing COVID did was gave free lunch to everybody. But this year they started back to where they're charging again. So we're back on the roll and paying all school lunches and helping kids.
Do you have any plans of doing another charity for something else besides? Can you share with us?
Yes. So I want to do something else a little more broad. So this kind of goes back into your question as far as where to get started. So this was my first nonprofit, and this is part of just kind of learning as you go. But so when we opened the nonprofits are very specific as to what they're for. So with ours being for school lunches, we can't just help anybody in need. If we wanted to write a donation to a military family or for a roof or whatever, it doesn't fall under our nonprofit. Our nonprofit can only write checks to a school. So even if a school's holding an organization like the baseball team or whatever, we can't write a check to them. We have to write a check to the school itself. So that kind of limits it does help obviously a lot of kids, but at the same time it kind of ties our hands on other things that we can do. So there's other areas that I've thought about getting into as far as helping with either veterans or helping back on the roofing side where if people have a house that is really decayed and there is no storm damage or they don't have insurance or they can't afford it, they got leaks, whatever it may be, that we can actually do that.
I actually have a couple of clients like that. And obviously I'm not as big as you and I just try to do what I can in my best, but if you're welcome for me to send you their information, I mean, if there's something we can do. We've done it
a lot. We've seen a lot on, about once a year. There's always a news story about somebody running off of somebody's money or doing something bad, which is always negative publicity for us. But, every time I see that, I'll reach out to the news station and get their information and tell them, hey, this is who I am. I want to do that person's roof for free.
Wow.
So, because it's not fair to them. They got insurance to pay for it. They did everything they're supposed to do. And another contractor ran off with their money. So to reinstore faith in that homeowner and in society as a whole, I want to do something that's right. And even though we come out of pocket for it, it costs us a little bit of money. It's doing what's right for that homeowner, and like I said, it gets us good publicity too. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So
no, I agree with you 100%. I think there should be more roofers like you. There should be more roofing companies doing charity, and there should be more roofing companies helping and changing people's lives. You want to change people's life, but what I see in the roofing industry is that not a lot of them are genuine or honest, because they bring you to their companies telling you a story or like telling you that you're going to become a millionaire or whatever, and this and that, you're going to make a lot of money, but you're really making a lot of money for that company. And then whenever you're like, okay, but I understand that there's something more out there. Can I just, they just try to cut your wings. Like they don't allow you to grow. They just want you there. And I see that. I think Perimeter, it's one of what I've seen and how I spoke with you, really good environment, I believe, and really good self orientated towards helping the community. Now my question goes to something else that has nothing to do kind of with well, it does, but it doesn't.
Should I be nervous?
Social media, more likely. You guys, this trending TikTok. Actually, we're on TikTok Live, but this trending TikTok thing with your business partner, Raymond Wendell. One video has 2.7 million views, and the other one has 2.5 million views, and it's about, you know, they're getting into it with an adjuster, a State Farm, and it reached all the way to Canada. Someone told me that, you know, that people from Canada are been calling your office like, hey, can you come to...
all over.
Yeah.
It's reached State Farm headquarters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So... were you there, first of all? And was this claim approved for full replacement? What happened? Please spell the T.
I was not there.
Okay.
I wish I was there.
Okay, me too.
I was not there. So essentially what had happened was the whole reason they started filming, it was Ray and the guy filming was Shannon Wilkerson. They've both been with me since day one.
Okay.
Ray came over with me when I started the company and ended up making him a partner just because he learned so fast and he became a beast that obviously you can see in the video. So, but the reason they started filming was this was a re-inspect. So they walked up the roof, and the whole purpose of the re-inspect was to do a brittle test.
Okay.
And I forget exactly, I don't want to misquote, but I forget exactly how many damaged shingles were on the roof. But there was a good amount of damaged shingles and a decent amount of hail. So it was, the whole reason it was there was for a pliability test to do a repair. And so when they walked up the roof, as soon as they walked up the roof, which at the beginning of the video, you see them pointing to one shingle that they're talking about. And it's because the adjuster had grabbed that shingle to lift it up, and when he did, he broke the corner off. And so
that means
Ray said,
it's brittle.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah. And he said, no, that one doesn't count. And so that's when they started filming.
Okay.
And that's why you see everything.
Okay.
So it's not like they were just filming just to be rude or to intimidate anybody. But that's why they started filming, was to represent the homeowner and make sure they had any documentation needed. So, but Ray did a phenomenal job.
Yes.
You know, he was very, you know, and we've had some people that don't know anything about roofing say that he was rough with the shingles. He was not rough with the shingles whatsoever. He was very gentle when lifting up the shingles. And the whole thing is, and we're open. And I think anytime you have an adjuster on a roof and a contractor on a roof, if they're both willing to give a little bit, you can come to terms on a good situation or a good solution for the situation. And the adjuster didn't want to do that. Everything was, you're being too rough. You're, you know, it is pliable. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's just all the things to do not to pay the claim, basically.
And you know, I think the best thing that Ray did was said, I understand. If you'll just show me how to do it,
okay,
and it's done, then we'll agree on it. And he wouldn't show him how to do it. So because he kept telling him I'm not a roofing expert.
Yeah, but then
so if you're going to tell me how to do something, you better be an expert, or at least better than I am at it. And so that was one thing that was kind of like aggravating to watch, and another reason I wish I was there. But I think the other thing that Ray did really, really well was towards the end of the video, before they're getting off the roof, he tells the adjuster, he says, look, we won't even do the roof. If you have something against me, we won't even do the roof. We'll give it to another company, but do what's right by the homeowner.
Yes.
And pay for this man's roof. And the homeowner was down there the whole time. I don't know if you saw him in the yard down there, but he was down there the whole time. And since then, we did the roof. Insurance didn't pay for it.
Okay.
But they paid out the homeowners paid out of pocket. And now they're going to court over it.
Okay. Well, just keep us updated with that, and I'll just show it on. Just share with us the outcome, because I think 2.5 million people are like waiting for what's the outcome. Is it, it's finally getting a lawyer will get this man a roof, because I mean, there you go. It was brittle. You lifted a shingle, a corner, it just went up, and that's it. I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah.
You know,
you can't pick and choose.
you can, exactly. I mean, me with my experience, totally get it. I'm perfect points. But I want to tell everybody to start a TikTok trend. Well, I'm gonna be the first one to start it, so I'm gonna imitate Ray TikTok and do it myself. And then I hope everybody, will do the same to raise awareness with homeowners and contractors to say, yeah, you're right. You can't argue up there. Like, I mean, yeah, well, who's the expert? You are, not them. They're experts on, I guess, finding damages and not approving claims, right? And well, the last but not least question that I have is, what is your opinion in vandalism with contractors vandalizing the claim? Let me put it more specific. Okay, we have an older lady with some State Farm, and she has like, I guess, a lot of wind damage, right? But there's not enough creased, and some contractors, to feel like they're the superhero, they will go ahead and do that, right? They will do the vandalism. Yeah, sometimes you get it approved, sometimes you don't get it approved for repairs or whatever the case may be. But what is your opinion on contractors trying to become the superhero and doing the vandalism, or and also your opinion on contractors just ripping things off just because they want to get paid?
So I don't agree with vandalism because it's just not the right thing to do. One.
Okay.
Two, even if you're trying to be a superhero and do what's right for the customer because they need a new roof, whatever, I get that. But it's not worth the risk for yourself or for your company. And trust me, we come across it. We come across it all the time, which is really one of the main reasons we really don't even mess with 3 tabs anymore. We primarily get architectural.
Oh, wow.
I would say 99% of the roofs that we do are architectural roofs that we get approved through wind or hail damage.
Yeah, of course.
But we will come across some 3 tabs that we obviously get called out to. It's not something we search out. We don't search out any sort of Atlas Chalet or anything like that.
No.
But when our guys do get on one of those roofs, and we teach them what vandalism looks like.
Yeah.
We want it to be very, very aware. One, because we want them to know that we know. So don't think that I'm stupid and I'm not going to know if I see something, because we'll let you go. It's not worth my reputation. It's not worth me paying for it. It's not worth any of that. But 2 is I want them to be aware of what they're looking for, because one of the biggest issues is, even if it's not them, if there was another roofer up there that caused damage, and then they got a second contractor to come out, or they forgot to call the claim in, now it's been 3 months, they get us to come out and look at the roof and it's been vandalized.
Yeah.
I want them to be aware of what to look for, so when they do get up there, they can immediately take pictures and come down and explain to the homeowner, which we always ask before we get on the roof. Of course. Have you had anybody else on the roof?
Yeah.
How old's the roof? Who's your insurance company? All those
all those.
But it's okay to still call the claim in, but you can't pass it off as wind. You have to call it in as vandalism.
Okay.
And we'll tell the adjusters, hey, when you get up here, I called this claim in for vandalism. You're going to see some funny stuff up here when we get up here, but they've had other roofers up here. They'll tell you that. They have their business cards, etc.
Everything.
I just want you to be aware before we get up here.
Okay.
I think the biggest issue people run into is that when they don't know the difference, or they do it and just try to pawn it off as wind.
Exactly.
And then they
just get greedy. I see a lot of people getting greedy in this industry, and they just because it's so easy, quote unquote, they sometimes damage roofs that are 7 years old. I mean, I've seen it, and I'm like, what were you like? What is you doing?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
7 years. Exactly. First of all, you don't want to look at that, and then second of all, like, what are you doing?
And I mean, the biggest thing too is, like, if you really want to excel in your industry, and you're only going to get so far vandalized roofs. And it's only a matter of time before you get caught.
Yes.
And when you get caught, it's not worth it. Getting any sort of felonies or insurance fraud, or having to pay for roofs, anything, it's not worth it. So if you'll learn the industry, and this is part of what me and Ray can teach you a lot of, that we've really kind of put our head to the grindstone and learned these things versus before we would just get on a roof and say, all right, this is travelers, there's this much hail, or there's this much wind. It's approved. There's so many more variables than that. and I can't give away all our secrets, but that's
But
how
that's-
we get away.
yeah, of course.
And our numbers have increased every single year. And yeah, we're getting on roofs, but I would say even if you took one salesperson, their numbers are increasing every year, not because they're getting on double the amount of roofs or triple the amount of roofs. It's because their batting average, so to speak, is going up.
Exactly.
They're learning what to look for. They're learning
Yeah.
what arguments to make. They're learning about discontinued shingles.
Yes.
That there's so many more out there
Yeah.
than people are aware of.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a huge array of ways to get roofs approved with very, very minimal damage.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. The more I know how, discontinued shingles and everything. By the way, we're going to have John the Roof Pro here, so
That's my boy.
yeah, right there. So he's the one that has all the discontinued shingles sheets.
Yep, that's my boy.
Stay tuned for him. But anyhow, I do believe that it goes and falls back onto our number one question: changing people's life and be honest.
That's it.
So basically, your whole memo, it's changing people's lives and just be honest.
And the biggest
what's right.
big thing that I tell people is you're always on stage. Like right now, we literally are on stage. We're
Yeah.
on camera, so I can't do anything crazy. But it doesn't matter if you're driving. It doesn't matter if you're in the grocery store and you have their shirt on. You are always on stage, and how you act, people see that all the time. And they'll either write you a bad review because you were doing something stupid in the grocery store.
Yeah.
So people see that and they will see your shirt and associate it immediately. And I do not want to do business with this
Exactly.
company. Or I saw this man help this little old lady in the grocery store. I want to do business with this company. So that's a very big aspect of life in general, is people are always watching.
Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, people and God too,
And God.
So
And God.
that's what you're saying. They're always on stage.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Todd, it was such a pleasure having
Enjoyed
you.
it.
Thank you so much for being here.